Matthew chapter 14 verses 22 to 33. Immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage. It is I, don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and, beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." 5 things we can learn from this passage. 1. Peter was able to hear clearly God's instruction despite of the disturbing sound of the storm. In our faith we may encounter trials, but we must listen carefully to God's instruction just like Peter. 2. Peter follows God's instruction to him. Absolute obedience is the key to experience great miracles in our life. Just like Peter, he was able to walk on water because he obeys God. 3. He come closer to Jesus. You can only overcome the storms in life if you come near to Jesus. And you can only come closer to God if you step out from your safe zone. What are this safe zone? Your family and friends, your job, your business, your power and position. Is the hindrance for a miracle to happen is not listening to God and obeying His command, and by just staying in our safe zone. 4. Peter started to sink because his focus was diverted into the winds rather than focusing on Jesus alone. Sometimes in our life we are like Peter, we lost our focus on Jesus. That's why when problems and difficulties in life comes we started to drown. But the good thing is there is Jesus who is willing to rescue us in that situation if we just ask Him to help us. 5. Peter trusted completely to Jesus more than his ability. During that Peter started to drown, he never tried to swim, but instead he immediately asked help to Jesus. Remember this. If there is a time in our life that we become like Peter, seeing those winds coming to us, put this in your heart and mind: as long as we put back our trust and confidence in Him completely, He will never let us drown. God allow those storms to happen to us because He wants us to be more closer to Him. Give thanks to God for that circumstances you are experiencing right now, because it will bring you more closer to Him. Just listen to Him. Obey Him. Come closer to Him. Focus on Him and pray to Him.